I'm probably quite disorganised when it comes to keeping notes and things, and because I'll put some on my tablet and I'll put some on my phone, and I'll flag up a few emails I know I need to read, which I never read, and then I read it again when I get the reminder email. I think it just differs from student to student, but I haven't found anything that's sort of transferable. We have like a Moodle, and we had like a workspace at the university and these other online systems that they have, and I don't find any of them very useful.
I use like Mendeley, like reference management stuff. That's like, it's like saving loads of time. The software is incredibly useful, but you have to find it specific for your task. But I guess people have to be aware of what is out there to actually try these things out.
So in sixth form they said, here's your software, this is what you're doing today, this is how you use it.
Yeah.
But then you knew going to uni that they'd say, here's the software,
See
but
what
they're going to say, what can you do with it?
Yeah.
And you kind of then have to go, okay, you go home and you try and learn it.
Yeah.
You download a trial and you try and figure out your own time.
Yeah.
Which is what I think the university needs to be pushing more, is the fact is that you can get the software at home. If you can't get it, this is how maybe you can get it. Or if you can't get it, or here's an alternative to try out that you can transfer the skills across.
The good thing about all universities is that they have a lot of trainers. So within the library, you get told this is Microsoft Office course, you can get qualifications, Microsoft and things like that. I don't know if it's really good for people. A lot of the foreign students who they learn English for the first time and they learn all these new products and stuff. They use a lot of Word, PowerPoint, and go to the library and things like that. But the library does other stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of products. They license big, lots of products. But the problem is they get all these good products and they never tell anybody they've actually got licenses.
Kind of make a list of softwares or things that the students will be using over the course of their time for like the whole duration, rather than kind of telling me you need a laptop, you need this, you need that, because I think if you were told what you would be using them for, then you could better kind of work out what you need to buy, what kind of laptop, which operating software would be best, whether you need a tablet or whether you even need a laptop.
I think there's a lot of content out there, the MIT Open Courseware, Yale, a lot of the American universities have got great lecture courses that have already been recorded, that are out there, that some students go to obviously, but some students just don't know about and don't know exactly what they're looking for in terms of that's relevant to their own, lecture courses. And I think there's definitely, a need for people to be told where the good sources are.
So that personalised thing, I think, really separates the best universities from the rest.
It's about, it's about the resources as well. How can you provide that personalised experience without having to employ a tutor to spend 2 hours of their very busy week with 2 students? I think that's where technology can really help.
I think if you need help in using a particular kind of device, software, whatever it is, I think universities should help you with that. I personally kind of like working things out myself, so that's just the way I work. But I think if you're struggling with using an iPad, I know that people on our course who were struggling, I think they should kind of get the help they need, like as a kind of in a workshop setting or something like that.
We did have at least 3 or 5 people hanging around just to say, oh, how'd you do this, how'd you do that? Not that we knew, because we were also trying it out, and then when we found out, we said, well, we found it, this is how you do it, and then they crack on with it. But yeah,
I think that if the university doesn't tell you, they're not going to know. Because if I hadn't been told by the uni, if I didn't do a computing course, I just assumed my data was always safe. So I just always rely on computers at uni.
And sometimes even with the lecturers, they've been teaching this course for a while, and it's computing. So it's growing. I mean, things change every day. You know, even an hour something could change. So you can't expect the lecturer to have every information, you know, to hand. It's just there as a guidance. So it's always for you to work on your own initiative. What's the other alternative? That's why they say Google it.
I think a lot of time just asking each other just solves so many problems because everyone kind of helps each other.
Yeah, but where do you go if you think your software is not adequate, or kind of the tools you use or the methods? You know, because you expect them to be there for you and you just use them. You know, you don't. One person doesn't think they have enough power to change a suite of products that the university's already brought into.
I think there's like students are kind of one of the kind of key people that understand what needs to be worked on and what is missing from university that will help the process of like their education. Like staff may think of things, but they're not going through the route of the student. The student's the one that's going through the kind of process. So it's good to kind of empower them and give them the opportunity to say, oh, there's a problem here and I can provide a solution to it.
I think universities tend to bring in a lot of technology that doesn't tend to help, and I think it's really narrowing down on what practically will help, not what in theory sounds good. I think maybe trial technologies on a very small group and see if people actually use them before investing fully into them.
I think the solutions we come up with are relevant to the problems that we have, whereas the solutions that universities might come up with are based on speculation about our problems or based on surveys that we've handed back about our problems, which aren't too correct.
They're not very agile, are they?
Yeah, not very agile at all. So yeah, definitely I think our solutions, you know, solve our actual problems. Can all students participate in making their own things to make education better? Yeah, I think so. Whether it's just voting on some page for an idea that they believe should be enacted in their university, or proposing a project and leading that forward. I think evidence is that students complain a lot about everything, and if we can convert some of those complaints into like some kind of product and action, then yeah, our education would be a lot better.
Definitely. At the end of the day, it's not about having technical or entrepreneurial skills. Anyone who is motivated enough goes and volunteers or mentors other students or helps out some way, others TA and things like this. So there is definitely the drive there, and different students use it in different ways.